Well,
How's your, oh, you back?
I
Is he
think
back?
so?
Is he back?
Maybe?
Stream back? Stream back.
Get back!
Oh my god.
Oh,
no.
cliffhanger's here.
I know, right?
I don't even know. Was it just like OBS decided to just crash on you? 'Cause
Yeah.
that's happened to me before too.
It just was like, oh, well, nope. I've had enough of your emotional bullshit, guys.
Yeah, that's happened to me before too.
Yeah,
Honestly,
this
just restart
was
it and
too
it's fine.
angsty. Time to be done.
Yes.
That's what Twitch
we're
said.
back. I'm sorry, guys.
I
I'm
just
sorry,
need
chat.
one more attack at the very least for Io.
I mean, if you would have not killed and taken Yara from me, maybe she'd be in IT right now. Helping
Okay, alright. Well, now that we're back in it, guys.
I have
In the moment, back on Sai's turn.
Yeah.
Sev's hand was on his shoulder. He was kind of looking down at where Ven's body was. The hair, Sephiroth style in my head at least. Blonde hair just falling over his face. And he just looks up. The cold yellow irises still there, the gaunt under his eyes, but you just see both shock and anger. And even at the words of what Sev dare said to him, he just looks up and just, how dare you think you know what's best for her? I have sacrificed more than you know and you could have done in 10 lifetimes. And he grabs him by the throat and just lifts him up. No, you will not take her from me. And takes his other hand and pulls Del back from Ven and lifts him up in the air, and then with both hands slams them down into the ground next to him, and then just slowly walks towards Ven. No.
As
Good.
As he does that, Seb's getting up and just... That's just it, Sai. I never assumed what was best for her. You want to know what she chose to do? Let's go to you. Both times that she did. We didn't tell her to. We didn't force her to go to you. Did we fight against it? In the beginning, yes. We knew that she wanted to do this. She wanted to get you back. No matter the cost, even at the cost of her own life. And it's not just Fen. Yara too. You did that to Yara.
He looks over at Yara's body.
Isaidus, you killed my entire team. You killed people I considered brothers. And I hold no ill will against you. Was I mad? Yes. But I still think you could be redeemed. I still think you can come back. Believe me or not, but like I said, let everyone else leave. They can get Ven medical attention. They can save her life. All you have to do is just strike me down if you truly believe that we are at fault for everything.
As you're saying this, he is slowly pulling Ven, even though she's still floating, towards him. And is just cradling the back of her head. One hand on the wound.
Look
No.
in yourself, Sai.
There is no redemption for me.
Ben still believes it. I still believe it.
And he closes his eyes as he's stopped listening to Sev. And he reaches out to the forest and looks into the future again with foresight. This was all for you. I guess I'm okay with this ending. And he puts his hand on her wound. She won't make it out of here. and begins to heal it.
You guys watch as Isaidus begins to heal the wounds. And slowly you see him start to weaken. He ends up falling to his knees while holding Ven in his arms.
I would like to make sure he doesn't, just hit the floor. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You stabilize him. He has her held tightly in his arms. And for a moment, it's like nothing happens. However, then it's at this point that through this darkness that you've been hovering in, you see a hand outreach to you. And you find yourself instinctively reaching towards it, and you take the hand. And the rest of you start to see this life come back into Ven's eyes as she's in the arms of Sai. And with a deep, gasping breath, Ven's eyes open as she is brought back from the brink of death.
and Sev will be holding Sai.
This is all very interesting for Io to witness.
Yeah, you essentially see the force of Sai kind of get transferred over to.
Oh yeah, it's interesting to see.
I know it sounds weird. I do think Sai would have kept everyone else at bay. There's still this animosity towards everyone else of like, it wasn't their words that did anything. It's not that he's letting them in.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'd say that Sev goes to try and stop him, and he kind of pushes you back. Pushes you all back and keeps you at bay. But then you awaken from this brink of death. The last thing you remember is being attacked by Isaidus, and now you are awake in his arms. You feel much weaker than you were before, but you somehow have this feeling that you are going to be forever trapped in that darkness until whatever saved you.
So
Sorry.
yeah, I kind of like look around, look at him.
Sorry I couldn't see what we had. I did never meant to hurt you this way. I'm okay with the future. Where you're okay. And in a non-creepy way, where he had grabbed your hair before, one hand is just holding like your hair the way he used to back in the Jedi Temple.
Does he still look like? Do I see any like? I guess you know how you were a big thing you were saying for a while was like there was his old self kind of flickering back and forth.
And you can tell me if I'm wrong. I would say the irises are still there, the gaunt look, but there is that glimpse of like the old Sai, but it's still the dark Sith. It's not like he's back.
It's not fully the Sai you know, but it is like those early days of Darkside Sai, where he was still the one that you loved before all of this. So it's definitely a change.
I like probably weakly like put a hand up to his face and I'll just say, I'm sorry I never had the way to help you. I always learned it too late. It was always too I thought being firm would help you, and I don't think it was what I needed to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I wasn't good enough to bring you back. Please. Please come back to me now.
I think the tragedy of this all was that we really couldn't be together. But I'll always be with you. Always.
Does he look like sick?
He is fading rapidly, perhaps more rapidly than Yara, now that you are aware of it. And the rest of you are watching this go on. And
Even before Ven could even attempt anything, he might even put his hand on hers. Let me go. I've done so much wrong. At least
How can I?
I could do something for you.
You could have done so much good too. But I love you, I always will. It's never changed. Never.
We're always good for the both of us.
What did he say? I'm sorry.
You are always good for the both of us.
Mm. You were the one that taught me. I wouldn't be who I was today without you. I want you to remember that at least.
He smiles, just looks at you. As if nothing else matters but you in this world.
I like put my hands up to his face and I kiss him if he will let me.
I think he will.
I think so too.
Tries to pull you in, but he probably doesn't have enough energy left.
Yeah.
And before you can move away, you feel that connection fade.
And the rest of you watch as a surprisingly peaceful Isaidus goes limp in Ven's arms. And Io, there is no force signature from Isaidus anymore.
In seeing him pass on, I guess, Sev will not let Ben have to see him like that anymore, and basically just lie him down properly, how a Jedi would, or how a Jedi should, once they go. Eyes closed, arms crossed. And he will start carrying him.
Yeah, I
If
think
she'll allow him.
before he does that, she probably like asks him to give her like just a minute. Like she kind of like puts her hand out, and she just kind of sits and is like, so he's sort of like in her arms type of thing, and she's just kind of tracing his face like with her hands.
And in doing that, he'll
She's
give her
just-
an
Yeah, she's kind of like saying, like, you can't really hear her, but she's just basically saying, like, I'm sorry.
Veery, kind of in shock, turns to Sev and just says, "They've been apart long enough. Can you grab Yara?"
Yeah.
And then she just kind of like falls into Dell's arms.
And Sev, instead of doing that to Sai, he'll do that to Yara and carry her out the room. And kind of motioning to everyone else to let's just give him some time.
The fuck just happened?
He died doing what he said he was doing.
It's over, Dell.
Come on, let's just clear out. Let's just give him some space.
Who's space?
I just kind of tilt my head over to Ven.
No, we need to leave.
Come on, big guy.
We need to leave. We need to get.
We will. Just
will.
give her a second.
Just give him time. Give him a
I'm not
minute.
leaving her.
We're just gonna be right outside the door. Come on. It's over.
I was meant to walk her down the aisle. That's it.
That's it.
This is how it ends.
That's it.
He finally came to his senses.
Really know
Let's
if
just
we
go.
did.
But saved her life. I don't know if we can fault him for that.
It's not good enough.
Um,
That's not good enough. We can't. He just. This is not how it ends. No, look, I'm sorry. He just killed Yara. He almost killed Ben. And this is it. This is it.
Del, look me in the eyes.
I have been waiting for this moment, planning everything. Who would look after the children? Who would raise them? And this is it. This is it. We all lose somebody. How is that fair?
Life isn't
On any of
fair,
us.
Dell.
I know it's not fair, but we've done everything.
We stopped him. We saved so many other people, Dell.
Legion, come on. Come on, tell me you can bring somebody back. Any of these people, come on. Come on, Legion, tell me you can bring somebody back. We can't leave like this.
You have the feeling that Legion is looking at Yara, and there is just sorrow emanating from it, as its attention is solely on Yara. And in perhaps the first time that you have ever heard any sincere emotion from Legion, you hear it seems to be choking back tears as it goes. We are unable to give life to something that has none to begin with.
We can't just leave like this. No, this is it.
Here. Sorry. Come on, Del. Here, can you help him out? Sure, what else I can do?
It's like Dell's arm around her shoulder, and Starts walking him out.
We
Yeah.
lost more. We lost more. Again. Couldn't even save Sai.
Yeah. I'm sure you don't want to see this. Io, please make sure they're okay.
Dale will remove himself from Viri and pick up Yara. I could at least walk her out of here.
He'd like that. Thank you.
And he's gonna walk her out. His
Several wait.
mind broken.
Yeah, Vera will wait with Sev. Just looking at her hands, the blood on her hands. There's like blood on one hand and the other one's clean.
He'll kneel down to Viri, kind of like a rag over them, kind of covering. Hey, he did everything, right?
Yeah. Life isn't fair. It's okay.
If you blame me, I will take the blame. I'm so sorry. I could not save her.
She puts a hand on his cheek. You did great. I don't blame you.
Thank you.
She actually looks at the two gauntlets. Just because people aren't with us anymore doesn't mean they don't stay with us.
Yeah. No. You go on ahead. Right? I'm gonna tell Ven. I'll just be.
I'll give you guys a moment. I'll wait for you.
And I promised I'd give Ven a minute with Sai, and I'm still keeping that promise. I'm just going up to her, telling her, I'm sorry, couldn't bring him back. I guess in a way he did come back. Just it just took certain things to fall in place. You take your time. All right? We're in no rush. When you're ready, I'll be waiting.
She definitely like her head like looks like she's listening and she just kind of nods and says just like very quietly like I'll try not to take a long time. And she basically just uses the last couple minutes of just kind of being alone with him and he basically just says it was pretty dense how to figure out how to navigate people's emotions, especially yours for some reason. I'm sorry I did all the wrong things. I'm sorry that I realized the right things too late. I'm sorry I didn't take care of this sooner. But I still remember you. I still remember who you were. And I still remember what part of you's left. I'm going to keep that with me And after a little bit of that, she does kind of like gently set him down and walks over to Sev and says, I don't know what to do with him or with this whole place.
Well, I'm not gonna pretend I know either. At least we can.
You're
If-
cutting out a little bit.
Oh, sorry, probably because I'm
Sam-
I'm a little quiet right now. That's probably why.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Stage
Uh,
whisper.
Stage
Is that better?
whisper, I do that
Stage
all
whisper,
the
I
time.
know.
I always talk too soft.
Is that better?
Yeah.
That is much
Okay.
better, yes.
Well, I'm not going to pretend I know what to do with the Forge. I'm no Jedi or Sith. So I can't tell you that, but for him, the least we can do is give him a proper burial. And he's going to again walk over to Sai and do what he said he was going to do before, but then got stopped by
Thank you.
by Ben. And he's going to carry him, and he'll walk to Vin, and he'll kind of motion to her that let's just go. And as they're walking out, he will say, as much as he did evil, he made the ultimate sacrifice for the person he loved. And for that, I can say, well, at least in my opinion, he redeemed himself. Much in the way that any warrior or husband would do.
Yeah, just tears are like streaming down her face, but she just looks at him and she says, your responses are, thank you for saying that. If they're truthful, you don't have to lie to make me feel better.
Oh, come on, Ben. Would I ever lie to you? I'm not. Clarifying that now.
Yeah. I knew there'd be death in this, but it was supposed to be me. It wasn't supposed to be Yara.
Oh,
Too many people died for me.
Well, sometimes, Ben, we don't choose who dies for us or who we die for. I guess it's in the same way as the Force. It works in mysterious ways, and it does things that no one can explain. It has the ability to give great power at the cost of someone's humanity, or it can just take someone's life without any warning. Unfortunately, it did both today. It gave someone the power to save the one they loved. No, it gave two people the power to save the ones they loved. Fortunately, at the cost of their own life.
Sorry.
You did
A lot of
everything.
this could have been prevented if I would have done things better. I'm sorry.
Stop. Don't say it. You may think that now. It's done. Unfortunately.
It's done. You're right. It's done.
Best we can do now is look forward. And to be honest, are they really gone? They're probably one with the Force, that they're looking over us just like Revan is right now.
You're right. Now I have to pick up the pieces and fix what he broke.
Before you start rushing off to do that, let's give everyone some time to grieve. You included. I know you, Ben. You're just gonna throw yourself at fixing things without a care for your own self. Let's take care of ourselves first. Give us time. We can work on that stuff
feel like
later.
I owe it to myself, Seth. I don't deserve that.
Well, how about for me then? And you promised once this is over, you'd have fun with us. Let's do that first. Let's grieve. Let's let ourselves feel emotion. I'll be honest, I'm bad at that as well, but I'm slowly learning. I'd like you to join me on that. So please, allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to feel. Because as much as you're a Jedi, you still have emotion. That's what makes us who we are.
Ironically, it's what I preach to everyone all the time. I guess I just don't allow it for myself.
And how about we both practice what we preach?
Yeah. What made him make that choice, by the way, Sev? All I remember is him knocking me out or striking me. And then suddenly I was just with him.
I guess he found it in his heart that he knew the things he was doing was wrong. And he kind of gives you a smile, not really wanting to commit to telling you that he planned on dying that day. He just didn't want anyone else to know it.
Someone's gonna tell her eventually. He can keep this for now. Maybe no one will tell her.
We know the snitch in the group. Don't worry.
Yeah, we do.
You could roll for Session to see if he's holding something, and you can question him on that. But that's up to you. I'm not gonna.
What'd you say? Sorry.
You could roll a possible insight check.
Oh, I don't know if she would even be remotely suspicious.
Nah. Probably not.
Nah.
She's probably a
him
real Saya.
in this state of
That's
mind
fair.
right now.
Fair
She
enough.
may come back later snooping for answers, but at this moment, no.
Fair enough. But yeah, he's gonna tell you basically what you need to hear, not what you probably are looking for.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Hey, you're right. There was good in him yet. I just needed to come out.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. You're family, aren't you?
Yes. Yes, we are. And I think we would walk back to the ship.
Yep.
All right. So, as everyone gets to the ship, and you all gather up and start to take off, Io, an incoming message for the ship is hailed to you from the Jedi Council.
He'll accept it and send it to the main console, basically the main terminal,
Okay.
so everybody can hear it.
He's not there.
What? Did we leave her behind? Does
No,
Io
no,
have to turn the ship around?
She's on the
Okay.
ship, but she's not.
Okay.
Not at
She's
the,
not
like,
there, yeah.
Not in the room.
that would private time.
I would just let her have it.
Yes.
She needs. So, what does the message say?
The message is not a a live one. It looks like it was just kind of sent to you guys to get, and it is from Layara. And she will go in a very sad and remorseful voice say, I have sensed the loss of 2 great Jedi, and I invite you all to return to Coruscant so that we may properly give them the funeral they deserve when you are ready.
I was gonna pilot chart a course for Coruscant, but he's not gonna fly there quite as fast as he flew to the forge.
It's more of a leisurely place.
Yeah, you know, you gotta give people time to
How
assess.
long is the trip?
It would be quite a few hours, especially if Io is taking his time. And admittedly, the fleets are a little preoccupied taking care of Isaidus' forces. So, you guys have plenty of time on the ride there.
I was gonna make a speed comparison, but I don't know the miles per hour equivalent. I only know kilometers per hour.
Fair.
I was gonna say he flew to the forge at like 110 kilometers per hour, but driving back he's going like 40, maybe 50 kilometers per hour. Basically playground zone driving speed. The ship equivalent.
It would be about 25 miles per hour.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. It's pretty slow. It's slow enough that it is going to allow the rest of you to kind of come to terms with what happened and grieve. But I suspect there's not going to be a lot going on during that ride.
I mean, I would wait a couple hours because I also have my own thing, but I would check in on Viri. I wouldn't leave it. If she doesn't want to talk to me, that's fine, but especially Viri is someone I feel like I would at least go to. I don't... Are you hiding, you said?
Beery, you find her, you look in the hangar bay, you look in her room, and she is sitting fully clothed. The armor off, but her robes, and she's just sitting in the shower, just blank stare on the floor. She's never dealt with loss before. Not like this.
And like goes up to her and waits to see a reaction if she looks like she even notices her. It's like crouches down so that they're level, and water's probably getting on her too a little bit. She doesn't care.
And probably a lot of it's unspoken. There's just no words. Ben probably understands.
Yeah.
Just lies on, just pulls her into her and just cries.
I think the only thing Ven would say to her, because you're right, there's words can't really like describe what's going on right now, but I do think the only thing that she would say would just be like, I'm so sorry, Fairy. I'm so sorry.
She just shakes her head. We both lost them. It's okay. Sorry we didn't bring them back.
We did what we could. Anything you need from me, you get it, okay?
Always. Or she just Sits there with Ven for a while.
Mm-hmm. As you
Actually-
two are sitting there, just kind of grieving together in your ways.
Actually, I'm sure Ven slowly just eventually turns off the shower and just
Right.
We're wasting water.
Pretty much. As you guys are having your moment, you both kind of feel a presence there suddenly. As Revan kind of flickers into your view and she looks absolutely heartbroken as she tentatively moves over towards you. And she looks between the both of you, opens her mouth to say something, but no words can fall out. And she just
This is
continues.
the first time Ven's seen Revan.
Yeah,
She has not seen Revan.
not of her. No, she has not. But Revan just kind of looks at you both before she sinks to her knees. And even in life, you've never seen her this remorseful and absolutely devastated. And she goes, I failed you.
Say I failed you?
Yes.
Sorry, you cut out.
Yes, she said, I failed you. Apparently, soft voices can't be heard.
I know!
Try to be dramatic. God, Discord.
I think very monotone would just go, the war that we all started is over.
Revan visibly
And you
flinches
didn't
at
fail
that.
anybody. You, Revan, no. No. You did everything you could. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. You were one of the people that I should have died instead of, and I'm sorry. But that's not on you. You did everything you could to make up for what happened. You've more than paid any debt that you might have owed. This isn't you. You gave me hope. No one else had done that before you.
I was so sure. So sure. That he would just wake up and see what a wonderful wife he has, and he would just snap out of it like I did.
I thought too. But I tried. I gave it everything, even if I didn't do it right. I wouldn't have done that without you.
Revan moves forward closer to you, and then she takes your hand, your face in her hands, and she looks at you firmly and she goes, you have no damn reason to apologize to me for anything. You did the hardest thing anybody could have done. And you did it proudly. I am proud of you for not giving up, not even until the bitter end. You are someone I am very proud of, Ven. And I know that they're at peace.
You know that.
I do.
I never got to say this, Revan, but I am sorry you can't raise your children.
I regret that I'm not going to be there, but you all will take care of them. And I know that. And I couldn't ask for a better group to take care of my babies. Everything happens for a reason. Even if we can't figure out what that reason is. But I am proud to have a family that I do. And you will always be my family. I know it hurts. And I wish so badly I could take away that pain. But I can't. So all I can do is be there for you.
Thank you. You did so much. Being there is just fine. Thank you for it.
And she will pull you both into a hug and quietly cry with you as long as you both stay there. Once you are done and ready to move on, she will fade away. Eventually, your group makes it to Coruscant, and as you guys make your way to the Jedi Council temple, you guys are greeted with a quiet procession of Jedi, and the moment you all exit with Isaidus and Yara's bodies, as you all walk forward, the procession of Jedi, Sith, Mandalorians, and various others from the Senate all kneel to show their respect and mourning as you all walk by. And as you guys move through, there is not a word said from anybody. But when you eventually get to the center square, you all are greeted with an overwhelming mass of people. Civilians, Sith, Jedi, Mandalorians, that are all standing shoulder to shoulder, crowding the space before you, save for a large funeral pyre. All the lights of Coruscant have gone dim, and all you can see are the people. And each and every one of them is holding a candle. And you, as a group, are able to lie Yara and Isaidus' bodies on the funeral pyres. And you are able to have the honor of lighting the pyres. One torch is handed to Ven. One torch is handed to Viri. And as you both light the pyres and stand back,
Veery in Veery fashion will put out the torch and use the electricity to light it.
of course.
The purple redemptive one.
Then actually uses the torch.
Of course.
Shaking her head a little bit, like, ah.
Yeah, it's
What is
part of
that?
the course. As you guys light the fires and watch as the flames surround Isaidus and Yara, a pair of siblings united once more. The light of the pyre surrounds you, covering you all in a warm glow, but even then it feels cold. As you all stand there, watching two people that you fought so hard for go in a way of honor. Simultaneously, your eyes move skyward to follow the smoke. And for a moment, a brief moment, you see two figures standing beside each other, face to face, as if they are meeting for the first time in a long time. A tall man and a shorter female. And you watch as the figures embrace in a long-awaited hug and disperse with another breeze. And you know in your heart that Isaidus and Yara Rin are now united in the Force. And while you all are left with this pain and ache in your chest, you also finally feel that sense of peace, knowing that despite your losses, despite your sacrifices, once again, the galaxy is at peace. Thanks to a brave group of heroes that gave up everything. And so, that ends the adventures of the Peachy Keen.
We did it, guys.